I just got back from like the most epic of epicest road trips. Y'all, drunk as shit tonight. If you can't tell, what is it, Wednesday? Anyway, I already came in here and took a shit once, and it was pretty quick. I had company coming by and whatnot. But it suddenly hit me that, like, I got them innard pains. Now my asshole's on fire. I have a company tonight. You see her? It's Kibby. Hi, Kibby. Kibby. I'm talking to you. Yeah. Trying to take a shit. I don't know why you gotta be right here because you're a fucking cat, I guess. Anyway, so I just went on like the most epic, sorry, my asshole burns. One of the most epic road trip. So, we drove from our humble little, fuck man, my butt's on fire. We drove from our humble little home in Arkansas we drove straight to Albuquerque, which is about 15 hours. And that was just a stop. That wasn't like we're going there. It was just like a stop on the way. It's like, I've driven home from Albuquerque before. We can do this in a day. Sure, why not? No, it sucked. But, got to Albuquerque, drove by Walter White's house. The old lady, or I don't know if she's older or not. She's older than I am. But as I have read online, she sits out front and like yells at people for like stopping. So I just drove by and snapped a pic real quick. And I was like, yeah, I'm not stopping to talk to this lady. I read that the husband is cool, but I read that the lady's kind of like, like you don't fucking give up your house for 5-6 years for like the most watched show ever on television and then expect that people aren't going to come look at this house. I mean, obviously anyone who comes to Albuquerque is going to drive around and find all these like filming locations. What she really should do, and I hope she sees this, is instead of yelling at people for throwing pizzas on her roof, she should just have like a rubber pizza, like, giant frisbee shaped rubber pizza, and like charge people $5 to throw it on her roof. If she's gonna sit out there all day anyway, she might as well make some money off of it, right? Anyway, drove to Albuquerque, get all the way to Albuquerque, and credit card won't work. The one that I've booked, like every single hotel we're staying at for 2 weeks is booked on this card. Credit card won't work because we stopped in Texas for gas and we didn't tell the credit card company that we would be in Texas, which I don't know if y'all, like, I assume most people know basic geography, but if you drive down I-40 from Arkansas to Albuquerque, you pass through motherfucking Texas. Had to stop and get gas. Wouldn't take the card in Texas, so I put it on a different card. Worked fine because I told my other cards, I was like, hey, told my bank, my debit card, I was like, hey, I'm going to be driving through Texas. Well, you've got a chip, so it should be good. I was like, cool, awesome. So, anyway, they shut down our card for fraud because I tried to get $30 worth of gas in Texas or whatever. It pissed me off. So we get to Albuquerque and they let us get into the room anyway. They're like, come down when you get it figured out, blah, blah, whatever. So I finally get it figured out. Didn't have any more problems with it. Until I was coming home and my debit card wouldn't work in, like, of all places, Lemon, whatever, Limon, Colorado. Wouldn't work for me to buy a pack of cigarettes and a drink, which was like, I was like, well, this is stupid, whatever. Here, use this card that didn't work in Albuquerque. It works now. But, anyway, we went on like the most epic road trip. We drove to Albuquerque, as I said, the first day. That was just a stop, and we left at like 10 o'clock at night, drove all through the day. It was beautiful driving through, desert. We're not used to desert in the area where I'm from, so it was really cool. Stopped at like the Continental Divide at one of those like suck you in touristy trap stores. Bought a piece of horsehair pottery. It's really beautiful, actually. It's just like some turquoise in it and stuff. It's awesome. But anyway, we drove on from Albuquerque to 29 Palms, California. We stopped off in Flagstaff for lunch, got a couple of beers and some burgers at the Lumberyard Brewing Company. If you ever have the chance to be in Flagstaff, stop there and get the Vietnamese burger. It was fucking delicious. Anyway, drove on through to 29 Palms, California. It was like another 660 something miles or whatever. We stayed at the Harmony Motel there because I've always wanted to go to Joshua Tree like my entire fucking life. Like ever since I found out like Joshua Tree was a place, I've always wanted to go there. So We drove to the 29 Palms. We stayed at the Harmony Motel, which is where you two stayed. Bono's a turd. Fuck that guy. But we stayed there, and I had read online that room 4 is the room they were in when he was there 30 years ago, or they were there 30 years ago writing Joshua Tree album. And guess what fucking room they put me in? Room 4. It was awesome. The owner there, her name is Ash. She is phenomenal. She is an excellent host. She let us stay in the hot tub late. We were having, good discussions and whatever. It was a great time. Great time. Got up the next morning. We were just kind of gonna like hit on Joshua Tree. We weren't really gonna plan to spend the whole day because we were trying to get our asses to LA. So we get into Joshua Tree and end up spending the entire fucking day. And had it not been July and been 102 degrees or whatever it was, like the next time I go back to Joshua Tree, I'm definitely camping. It was a beautiful, beautiful fucking place. I love those little weird ass little Dr. Seuss looking trees. They're awesome. The place is huge. It's really accessible. They've got paved roads to everything. I think we hiked down one trail to see this old abandoned mine, and everything else you just like drive right up and like, stop if you want to, stop if you don't. It started raining, so we didn't, hike some of the other things we wanted to do. Went up to that Keys overlook place, which was awesome. Like you could see Palm Springs in the distance, and you could see the Salton Sea, and you could see these like 11,000 foot mountains. And you're like, oh, I've been up Pikes Peak. Yeah, but it starts at 5,000 feet. So what is it? You're only going up 8,000 feet? No, this mountain I'm looking at, Salton Sea is like 225 below sea level. So this mountain I'm looking at is legit 11,000 feet from where you start, almost. It was awesome. Anyway, drove through there. There's fucking bees everywhere in that place. Be careful. Bees everywhere. They even have signs that say, warning, bees. Beautiful, beautiful place. Started hearing like a slight squeak in my passenger front tire toward like the end of our excursion through Joshua Tree. We drove down through it to I-10 and drove to LA. By the time we hit LA, it was 5 o'clock Wednesday, rush hour traffic. And I rolled down the window to smoke a cigarette, and I hear chirp, 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 like every time the wheel would spin. I was like, oh, fuck, it's a wheel bearing's gone out. So we make it to our hotel just fine. There's a Midas down the road. It's rated like a 4 out of 5, but it's, to me, when I'm, 2,000 miles from home, it seems like a better choice than going to some random local mechanic that may or may not be good. I don't know. Drop the car off at this Midas, right? Needed a new axle. Wasn't wheel bearing at all. Bearings were fine. It's a fucking axle. So there's $800 out of my my travel expenses. It's like the third day of my trip, and I'm now short $800 I would have had to blow on other stupid shit. Anyway, we dropped the car off first day in LA. Walked 10 miles. We stayed really close to Venice Beach. We walked all the way up and down the boardwalk and walked back to pick up the car. We get to the car place, and they had ordered axles for an automatic. My car's a standard. They're different. So, the 2 o'clock time, they told us that it would be ready. Wasn't ready. And they're like, oh, we'll have it ready by 4. And while we were sitting there, the axles came in. So we got it. A couple hours, we went back to our hotel. It was like a half a mile away. Took a swim because our legs hurt from walking 10 motherfucking miles. Got a free lemonade on that walk, by the way. We walked in to order a lemonade, and they're like, oh, it's on the house. I'm like, good, because it's hot as fucking balls. Thanks, man. Something free in LA. Holy shit. Anyway, so, we go back to the hotel. We take a dip in the pool. They call and say the car's ready. My boyfriend walks down there to get it. Comes back to the hotel, picks me up. And we're like, all right, this is my first time in LA. He's been there before. It's my first time in LA. I think he's been there a couple times, actually, motherfucker. But we're like, all right, let's go. Let's go to Hollywood Boulevard. I want to see this. I want to be touristy as fuck. So we start driving like to Hollywood Boulevard, and about 2.5 miles from the hotel, my entire engine starts going like shaking the whole car. It was awful. So we get it back without getting on the freeway. We get it back to that Midas. They had just closed, but one of the dudes was still there, and I was like, do you see this? Like it's idling, and it's like it's like y'all fucked something up. We thought maybe they fucked up the splines or something. We didn't know. So he was like, well, I'll look at it. And he spent maybe 20 minutes looking at it. Didn't look at everything. He was like, we're closed. I'll look at it first thing in the morning. Or like, fuck it, whatever. So we walked back down to our hotel. Or maybe we took it with us. I don't remember. It was like 3 weeks ago now. Shit. Anyway. So we go back down to the hotel. Actually, I think... What did we do? I think we drove it and dropped it back off the next morning. And the next morning they're like, oh, it's running fine. We can't find anything wrong with it. The codes it was throwing out wasn't showing anything other than the engine was misfiring. Well, obviously it's, shaking the whole damn car. We don't know what the fuck's wrong with it. Anyway, went to the Firestone Brewery there on Washington Boulevard twice in LA. If you ever go to LA, go there. It's awesome. You can buy little 3-ounce tasters of everything. It's delicious. They make great beer. We didn't eat any food, but they make great beer. But anyway, so the Midas called after, we dropped the car back off or whatever, and they're like, oh, well, it's running fine now. So we get in it, and we drive down to, the Santa Monica Pier, do the touristy Santa Monica Pier shit, ride the Ferris wheel, blah, 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 whatever. And I have a friend who lives in Thousand Oaks, and she wanted us to come up and visit, so we leave the pier, and we're headed back toward the hotel, and I was like, I thought we were going to, Malibu area to meet her at this Paradise Cove, which apparently is, one of the only beaches you can drink on. Get there. Have to wait, an hour and a half for her to show up, because she'd been working on her house, and I just, threw it on her. I was like, all right, we're at Paradise Cove. And I paid $21.84 for two 12-ounce beers on the beach. I was like, oh, this place is kitschy and expensive. So she shows up after we walked up and down the beach for a little while, and they have this little seafood shack restaurant thing there. I forget what it's called, but we go in, get some food, get a couple of drinks, come back out after spending $175 motherfucking dollars, because that place is apparently expensive as fucking shit. $175 on a couple drinks and a seafood platter. Are y'all fucking crazy? Are y'all crazy? This isn't even a touristy place. It's just a local place. I guess Malibu's for rich people, and I ain't one of them, but whatever, it was good. I had some mussels and clams and swordfish and lobster, all the shit, understandably, but that was only $80. How the fuck much were my rum runners? I only had 2 of them. And some kind of boba fucking mixed drink John had, and he didn't know what the fucking tapioca balls were. That was interesting. He's from Louisiana, so, anyway. So we did all that. We drove back through, and we're driving through this weird ass little, I guess it's Malibu Canyon or something. I was like, let's go to Hollywood Boulevard. We've tried twice already, and the car fucked up. Let's go to Hollywood Boulevard. So we get to Hollywood Boulevard. We do our little walk. We get there, and I immediately have to pee. And I'm like, I don't care. The first bar I see, I'm going in and buying a drink so I can pee. So we happen to walk into this. I guess it's kind of like a piratey seaside kind of bar. It was a really nice bar for Hollywood Boulevard, better than you would expect. We walk in, the drinks aren't expensive, order a drink, I go pee, I come back out, and there is a rep from Stillhouse Moonshine there, and he's handing out free drinks, and I'm like, well, hell yeah, I want a free drink. Had to take a picture with her little bottle and shit. I don't give a shit. It was delicious. Stillhouse is fucking good, and it's from Tennessee, which is my neighboring fucking state. It was delicious. A little bit strong, because I wasn't really, prepared to be drinking that. I just had a couple of rum runners and some beers and da-da-da-da-da. But, anyway, it was fun. So, went there, walked up and down the street till my phone died. I had a good time in LA. We left there, we went to Vegas. John has never been to Vegas before. I was going to jump off the stratosphere, but it was dark when I got there, and I was already 3 daiquiris in, and I was like, no, well, I'll do it next time I come back, because I want to do it, dusk or something. I want to do it where I can still, see all the mountains and shit. It's an 855-foot free fall. I don't want to do it, you can see the strip, but I don't want to do it in dark. I want to, see everything, so I'll do it next time I go. And I'm terrified of heights, and, after a couple of daiquiris, I was like, no, can't do it. I could hear the steel cable dropping other people. I was like, no, next time I will, and I will share that video. But I didn't do it this time. So we did that. Went on to, we only spent one night in Vegas. We drove on to the north rim of the Grand Canyon. They're maybe 60 miles, 80 miles south of Fredonia, Arizona. We stayed at Jacob Lake Inn because it was the only place available when I started booking places. The car drove fine then, by the way. Got into, Grand Canyon the next morning. We spent a couple nights there. Got into Grand Canyon the next morning. Most peaceful fucking place ever in the world. It's so peaceful. It's quiet. It's dark. It's nice. It's beautiful. I love it. I recommend it. Go there. Get the lemon zucchini cookies. Oh my God, they're delicious. I read they also have the best milkshakes, but I didn't get one because the only time I was really in the restaurant was at check-in at 9 o'clock at night, and then for breakfast, so I'm not having a milkshake now. Anyway, went to North Rim of the Grand Canyon, which is one of the coolest places I've ever been. Went to like Angel's Window and, got to see all the little points and stuff. Car starts fucking up in the middle of the thing. We're like, fuck, we're gonna be stuck here. And we're like joking with the bartender, we're gonna stay, because they're there for 6 months. We're like, we're gonna be staying in your dorm tonight, sleeping on the floor if this car fucks up. I'm just letting you know. I ain't gonna steal your shit, but I'm gonna be really drunk. I'm gonna pass out on your floor. Anyway, we did all of that, hung out in the little bar because the car was fucking up, waiting on our dinner reservation because they have like a restaurant there. The food, I got like a shrimp penne pasta. It wasn't that great. I probably could order something better, but I was really worried about the car and I was super drunk, so fuck it. Anyway, so we're leaving the Grand Canyon National Park, driving the 45 miles back north up the road to Jacob Lake, which all of it's middle of nowhere. It's like the K-Bab, however the fuck you say it, National Forest. It's all beautiful. Anyway, so we're like cruising along, car's working okay, getting back to the cabin, and I'm looking down at my phone or something, and John slams on the brakes. I'm like, fuck, holy shit. Like every time because he drives like a bat out of hell anyway, but every time he does something like that, I freak the fuck out a little bit, just a little bit. Anyway, I look up, and there's a herd of motherfucking bison, like, just standing in the middle of the road, and we're like, what the fuck do we do? We got this fucking Tiburon from Oregon, and if you're watching this and you drive that Tiburon from Oregon, you can go fuck yourself. He's laying on the horn, honking at us. I'm like, what do you want me to do? Bring him through this fucking herd of bison, buffaloes, whatever the fuck they are? What the fuck do you want me to do? So we sat there for a minute, and I'm like flipping this dude off out the window. I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude. And we're like honking the horn, and kind of felt bad because the bison were going this way, and when we started honking, they turned around and went back that way. And I'm like, I don't even get where they were going because these fucking cars are in the way. So we get past the bison or whatever, and this motherfucker in the Tiburon like whips around us and gets in front of us, and then he starts going like 20 fucking miles an hour. And I'm like, really, dude? Really? So we whip around and get past him. He's, weighing our dust, whatever. Fuck him. He's gone. So we get almost back to our cabin at Jacob Lake, and like in the left lane, like we're probably going like 50 or so. It's a curvy road, we're going 50 or so. In the left lane, both of us, like out of the corner of our eye, see this like something as big as a motherfucking dumpster. Now, I don't know if it was a Sasquatch or a lone big ass bison or an elk or a moose. I don't know if they have moose there. I'm gonna go with it was probably a giant ass motherfucking elk. It was fucking huge, and I hope to God nobody fucking hit it coming from either direction. So it was huge. It was just standing there in the road, like it wasn't moving or anything. It was just like, oh, I'm here, I dare you to hit me. Oh, no, fuck you, dude. That thing was huge. It was terrifying. It was terrifying. I'm so glad it was not in our like. You never see a deer right before you hit it, at least in these parts. I don't know how many people hit deer elsewhere, but I've definitely hit one before. Didn't fuck up my car, that was awesome. But if I had hit that thing, I probably would have been dead. Like, I would have been dead. Y'all wouldn't even be seeing this video because my ass would be 6 feet under. Oh, no. It wouldn't be 6 feet under. I'm about getting buried. I'm about getting put in one of them tree pods, turning into a tree, and becoming something, giving back to the earth that I've taken from for however long I've been alive. Anyway. Make it back to our, sorry, my low battery thing popped up. Make it back to our cabin, spend the night, get up the next morning, and from the North Rim we drove to, let me think. From the North Rim we drove to Mesa Verde area, and we went like up toward Lake Powell and Page, Arizona, and then we came down to Kayenta, Arizona, maybe. Is that what that place is called? And we're like, oh, fuck yeah, Sonic. Hell yeah, I want a fucking hot dog and a drink. So we place our order, and we're sitting there and sitting there and sitting there and sitting there. And I get out of the car because we're about to drive through Monument Valley from the south end. I get out of the car in the Sonic parking lot, and I snap a picture of that general area back there, And out of nowhere, these fucking Navajo speaking, I don't know even how many of them there were. At first I only saw 3, and it turned into like 6 or 7, but like they walked up and they were asking for money, and like gave them like the change out of our pocket, like it was like $1. He's like, he needs to eat too, and I'm like, well then he can go get a motherfucking job. And sorry. So we're still sitting here waiting on our food, waiting, and then this other older Navajo dude wanders up out of nowhere, and I've got my car window down because I was smoking a cigarette, and he walked up, and I was like trying to give him a cigarette, and he wasn't really taking it, and he was like got his hands all in my car and in my lap and stuff, and like he's touching me and he's yelling at me, and I could smell the alcohol in his breath. I don't know what the fuck he's saying because I don't speak Navajo, and I kind of felt bad, but I heard him say Escalante a couple of times, and I heard him say picture, and I thought maybe he was trying to get me to pay him for the picture that I took. Um, but I was standing in the Sonic parking lot, and I definitely did not do that. I gave him a couple cigarettes, rolled up the window, and he finally went the fuck away. I don't know. It was terrifying. Like, I don't know what you're saying to me, and I feel really bad because I don't know what you're saying to me, but ain't nothing I can do for you because of it. Anyway, so we drove through Monument Valley. We did the whole, like, stop where Forrest Gump was like, I'm tired. I think I'll go home now after he did his run. Stopped there, took a picture, which everybody was stopping. It was really cool. Went down to Four Corners, which is 1,807 feet. The monument, anyway, 1,807 feet due west or due east of where like the actual Four Corners are. So I was like, here, look, I'm at this monument that's like in the wrong place. Duh. Anyway, get up to Cortez. We go to Mesa Verde the next day. Went to a really cool brewery in Cortez. It's like Main Street Brewery or something. Really good beers, really good IPAs. But we went up to Mesa Verde the next day, and car was fucking up. And did a couple of like the Pueblo tours, which I've been there before. He had never been. I was like, you gotta go see this shit. It's really fucking cool. And we were leaving Mesa Verde, and we came around a corner, and both of us, I see what I think is a dog, and we get up close to it, it's a motherfucking bear just sitting on the side of the road, and it just kind of like watched us drive by, and I was like, there's a mama bear somewhere, and we go around the corner, and some motorcyclists are coming up, and I was like, please don't hit that bear, you guys are gonna die. Somebody's gonna eat you, someone's gonna eat you, it ain't gonna be pleasant. Bear. So anyway, we get out of Mesa Verde. We drive to Durango, get some really expensive rich people kitschy. Hey, I have fucking vacation in Durango, fucking lunch. And then we head on up 550 from Durango to Montrose down the Million Dollar Highway, which is a beautiful fucking drive. I've done it before, like in May, and there was still snow everywhere. And we still saw a little bit of snow, but it's really, really pretty if you do it like mid to late summer because all the snow is mostly melted and you can like see everything. And it's a gorgeous fucking drive. You should do it. Never have, try it. Like from Durango to like Ouray, and then it like kind of flattens out. Sorry, I had to pee. Anyway, so we get to Montrose. Ain't nothing to do in Montrose. It was just like one of our stopping points. We go from Montrose to Canyon City, and we're driving through this canyon down like, alongside the Arkansas River, which we're gonna go back and kayak, or not kayak, but raft, because we love that shit, and it looked awesome. It was whitewater the whole way. Awesome place. But we were driving through Gunnison, Colorado, and John's like, ooh, an antique store, because we love like old antiques. We like to go, poke around in fucking antique thrift stores and shit. They're fun. Anyway, so we like whip it around, we pull back up, and it didn't say antiques, it said antlers. And let me tell you, it's called like Traders something. I don't know what the fuck it's called. I got the card in my purse, but this store had like every fucking animal you could imagine killed and mounted. It had jackalopes for sale, which they're not real, but they had jackalopes for sale, $150. They had lions attacking warthogs. They had lions attacking antelope. They had animals I've never fucking heard of, all mounted off for sale. They had about 8 billion pairs of antlers. One of the weirdest stores I've ever fucking been in. We were in there for about 30, 45 minutes, whatever, and we kept on trucking. We get to Canyon City, go to the Royal Gorge. Of course, it fucking rains on me, so we go get some booze. It's great. Nice little trip. I went to, I don't have the shirt on, I was going to show you the shirt, but I wore it yesterday. I went to this place called Mountain Wookiees. I was like, because we saw the sign on the way, and I was like, I have to go check this out. It was just a head shop with like a bunch of fucking hippie shirts and shit they probably buy from China, but it was a cool little place. They had a lot of cool artwork. Anyway, ate this really good place called Pizza Madness. Like the pizza was not the best I've had, but it was pretty good. Anyway, we went from there to Denver. Car was running fine. Get to, I don't know, maybe 15 miles from our hotel outside of Denver, and car starts fucking up. So we stop and we like get some lunch. We're like, let it sit for a minute. We'll see if it works. We sit for like an hour. Took the like nastiest shit of my life. I would have taken a video, but it was a public bathroom. It was so gross. I was like, I'm so glad we're stopped here. It's pouring out of me. I'm peeing out my butt. Anyway, so we get in the car. It's not working right. We get to our hotel. And then our friends from here at home just happened to have come to Denver to go to the same Red Rock show we're going to. And they had a rental. And we're like, hey, y'all should, come get us. I mean, I can get an Uber, but I don't want to pay for it. So they come get us. We go to the show. Went to Red Rocks. First time at Red Rocks. It's an awesome place. The hike up to it sucked, but it's an awesome fucking place. I had a great fucking time. We leave the show. We get them out of there. One of our friends is like way fucked up, but not on the beer. You know, he was doing that. Anyway, so we get back to their hotel because it was closer, and called an Uber and got back to our hotel, whatever. Got up the next morning, started driving home. Car's fucked up the whole fucking way. So anyway, we had an excellent trip. Moral of the story is, do not take your car to Midas. They will fuck your shit up. Still don't know what's wrong with it. Still kind of running funny. He's been gone test driving it for an hour now. Moral of this entire trip, don't take your fucking car to Midas. I poured $1,000 into my car because I went on this fucking road trip. You know why? Because those goddamn fucking Midas folks hire the fucking lowest bidder and they fuck your shit up. Anyway, I gotta wipe my ass and go finish my beer because it's calling my name and this is, 26 minutes long. So I hope y'all enjoyed my story. Got any questions, I'll answer them. If you got any questions about anywhere I went on my trip, I'll answer them. Post in the comments or send me an email at thetalkingshits@gmail.com. Shits is spelled correctly in that, and all I get is on my username. That's about it. Hope everybody is having a great fucking summer. It's going to be over 100 degrees here tomorrow, and I am dreading every fucking bit of that. Kitty cat has fallen asleep down here, right in my underwear. Want to see her? Is she there? Anyway. Shit. Kitty. Tell him bye. Anyway, y'all have a good night.